Hi everyone, Earth Bookkeeping Made Simple, and we're going to talk a little bit today about what are normal and ordinary business expenses. In other words, what are the business expenses you can actually count as business expenses? It's important to get this right because a lot of small business owners think that because they are the owner, they're thinking about the business all the time, that they can write off basically everything. And unfortunately, that's not necessarily the case. So let's talk about it a little bit. Always, if you enjoy these videos, please like, share, subscribe, that other people know, where they can find this information. And we're gonna just go with it. Okay. So how do you define business expenses as opposed to personal expenses? If you're the business, it's not the same thing. So let's unpack it. Business expenses are incurred by the business in the expectation of more money. This is called normal and ordinary. That is the actual term the IRS uses. That is what is in all the business laws. So that, for one thing, if it's useful to you to grow your business, provide your services, produce your product, then it's perfectly permissible to count it as a business expense. And keep in mind that some expenses are not going to be the same across the board. So for example, I have an accounting company. Business expenses are labor, business office rent, advertising and marketing, software, office supplies, office equipment, which most have all of these written off. But I cannot write off the purchase of steel-toed boots, for example. I'm not an accounting. I'm an accounting company. I sit at a desk, and my employees sit at desks. None of us need hard hats or steel-toed boots. A construction company will find that those are normal and necessary to the regular. So I can't deduct those things, but a construction company can. So normal and ordinary includes employee pay, salary, payroll taxes, rent or mortgage interest on office space, advertising and marketing costs, travel to go to client meetings or to conventions to improve your business, legal fees related to business. So if you need to have an attorney review your tax, or if your business is sued, then legal fees are tax deductible. You can count those as business expenses. Bookkeeping fees. So I tell people all the time, I give you a price, you're really not paying that. You're paying that less, about 34%, because it is an above the line, meaning that you don't have to pay taxes on your bookkeeping and accounting fees, your legal fees, or marketing fees. In other words, if it's something you need to run your business on a day-to-day basis, it is usually deductible. It usually does count as it. Now, not all business expenses are deductible in your tax return. My expense in obtaining my degrees, for example, are deductible as a business expense because although communication to maintain a license, maybe. Fines, penalties are not deductible, although if I were to get a speeding ticket in the course of doing my duties, and then I went to court and hired an attorney to fight it, the attorney's fees would be deductible, but the speeding ticket would not. The government doesn't want to reward bad behavior, basically. So fines and penalties, or here's the thought, expense incurred in illegal activity. Government does, however, want income from illegal activity on your tax return. How I would put that on a Schedule C, I really don't know, because I would not want to use unlicensed pharmacist occupation, but they do want all income accounted, even if it was obtained through illegal means. So, but if you have income from illegal sources, you can't deduct your expenses. So, sorry, if you are a drug dealer, cartel member, you cannot deduct any of the expenses or the cost of the drug, but you're supposed to declare the income from your illegal activity. I just laughed when I heard about it in my very first taxation. I was like, well, that's a dead giveaway. But remember, Al Capone go to jail for selling bootleg alcohol. He went to jail for tax evasion, and tax evasion is absolutely illegal. Tax avoidance isn't, but tax evasion certainly is. So make sure you're getting your tax returns right. I'm sorry, it always cracks me up when I think that. If you're selling cocaine, they want your income declared, but you can't declare any of the expenses. Again, they're trying not to illegal behavior or bad behavior. So what about expenses? This is the one that really dings small business owners. Personal expenses are not business expenses. They are one or the other. They can't be. And these include, and believe it or not, I have seen these recently. These include escort services, prostitutes, and adult websites for contractors working away from home. Every clothing. So this is not tax deductible. I can wear it every day. Although if I had a specialized uniform, if I worked in a doctor's office and was required to wear scrubs, we don't wear scrubs in our everyday life, are deductible. And anyway, just if you happen to be at a conference and you have to go buy a special suit that can be worn every day, that is probably not tax deductible. So don't think that just I'll save my clothing purchases for when I'm at a conference or with a client is not going to work. You can't defend that in an audit for one thing. Groceries for home. Yes, I've seen a lot of business owners try to write off personal groceries. Not okay. Vacations, entertainment are only considered business expenses in very limited circumstances. Child care, medical expenses, other than what's covered by workman's comp. In other words, if you have an employee or you yourself are injured on the job and you need to make it at work claim, then expenses arising from that for the employer are deductible. Going to the ER because you have the sniffles is not. So there's a lot of gray area here, but it is very, very important, especially for business owners, where they have access to both the business funds and their personal funds. Keep them separate. It helps so much to avoid commingling the funds. It helps you avoid audit risk. It helps make things much easier on your accounting team. So we want you to take everything that is legally available to you. We do not want you to take any deduction may trigger an audit. That's my philosophy on that. So today, I'm looking forward to chatting with you again soon, and have a great rest of your day.